day 5 of the Bridechilla 30 Days of Wedding Planning, and this is a video series that really goes into all of the stuff that I've learned while producing 300 plus episodes of the Bridechilla Wedding Planning Podcast. And I wanted to make these videos to just really like bang, 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 doesn't make any sense, bang, 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 get into some of the key topics that go into being a Bridechilla. If you don't know what a Bridechilla is, head back to the episode 1 where I talk a little bit about what it means to stay calm, keep controlled, and get what you want in a nice way without being an asshole. Today's episode, I wanted to touch on a really big topic, and this is, these are just brief videos, and I highly encourage you, if you want to go a little deeper into some of these topics, to go and search through our podcast back catalogue, because I do episodes that are specifically about each of these topics. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about the benefits of hiring a wedding planner or coordinator, and I will also just explain briefly the differences between these two different titles. Now, gone are the days where wedding planners are like Frank from Father of the Bride, or J-Lo from that movie, The Wedding Planner, I think it's called, that they just service the needs of the super rich and wealthy people who they flit around and buy things and, create extravagant events. Really, the wedding planners and coordinators that I invite to be on the show and provide insight and value and information to Bridechilla listeners are people that are really in our price range. These aren't extravagant hires. These are people that provide a bunch of value and assistance to so many couples. And to be honest, I say this over and over again on the podcast, I think the only thing we regret from our wedding day was not hiring someone to help us. I really have this superhero mentality, and often I'm right, that I can do anything. I can achieve anything. I've got it all under control. But when it came to really leading up the last couple of weeks of wedding planning, you've got a lot of things to confirm. You want to make sure that vendors are going to arrive on time. They're going to do what you ask, just to make sure everything's running. You're making a timeline and your checklists are happening. There's a lot of logistical stuff that goes down. And also, in the same space as a couple who are hosting a wedding, there's a lot of people arriving, exciting events, dinners, you've got friends and family around, and you really want to spend that time with them, not making 50 fucking phone calls to 25 vendors and making sure they're turning up on time and, putting out any fires that may exist and coming up with backup plans, which is really where we were very lucky on our wedding day, that we had a caterer who came in and just cleaned up a couple of our, not physical messes, but just things we hadn't thought about, and they made it work. Now, we were lucky because there were probably 10 other vendors that we could have hired that wouldn't have done that, and the day wouldn't have moved on as smoothly as it did. However, if we had had a coordinator or a planner there to run through and make sure things were happening, it probably would have been a lot smoother. And we wouldn't have had to do a couple of the more stupid jobs we ended up doing in the days in the lead up to our wedding, because we thought it would be too expensive to hire someone, when in fact it would probably only have cost us $1,000, which is a lot of money, but for peace of mind, probably wasn't that much money, and things would have been insured and ensured that they would have happened. Wedding planners and wedding coordinators, there's an in-depth, and I will link to a blog about this, there's an in-depth episode that we did recently on the podcast that really goes into the differences between these two categories of vendors. But really, the wedding planner, when you are going in and spending a little bit more money, the wedding planner might be someone that comes to appointments with you. They're probably doing a little bit more of the running around for you, booking things. Some wedding planners will pay for things on your behalf, as in you pay and then they work out all of the deals and the contracts. Others are not into doing that. That's totally up to the planner that you're working with. And then you've got coordinators, and for a lot of Bridechillas, coordinators are who they end up working with. And that's because they still want to book things and be a part of the planning process and have some control. But then it's a matter of handing all that information over to a coordinator. And this is someone hopefully you work with for 2 or 3 months, possibly longer, prior to your wedding day. And then they deal with all the logistical stuff. They work out a timeline and checklists, making sure that if anything happens on the day or in the lead up to the wedding that isn't great, they help fix the problem. The last thing you want to be doing on your wedding day is problem solving. And to be honest, really good wedding planners and coordinators, they have 50 million backup plans. And I've talked to so many planners who have said, oh my gosh, the shit that has gone down on the day of some couples' weddings that I've been working, and the couple had no idea. And they are problem solving ninjas, just going and fixing shit for people. And then stuff works and, you know, the day moves on as no crisis has occurred, even though it has, is where I think they are worth their weight in gold. The other thing is saving money, because wedding planners and coordinators also come with their list, their little black book, their list of great vendors to work with. And these are people that they are putting their name on the line to hire. They've worked with them, they trust them. So therefore they're passing on these testimonials and the value and trust to you as a client, because they want to make sure you're happy and you get the best of the best when they're working with you. So really this sort of bullshitty stuff like, oh, wedding planners are only for rich people, when you don't need a coordinator, you can do it all yourself. That's true. I'm not doubting your skills, but if you have a full-time job and you want to have a life, and perhaps you've never planned an event before, I had just, seriously, when we were getting married, the most people we'd ever had at our house was about 8 people. And even that I found quite stressful organising stuff for. So I just think you need to think about how much you want to be involved, and then maybe have a couple of conversations with planners and coordinators in your area that you're getting married. Ask your venue as well, and just suss them out. Go and have some interviews. I really, really encourage you to explore this option. It's not expensive in the long run, and also there are so many great coordinators and planners out there that will make your day even better than you can have imagined, and will help you with decor, and will help you find a great band if you want it. These people are amazing. There you go. I'm giving them 20 gold stars to wedding planners and coordinators. Also, I must mention that we have the Bridechilla vendor directory. So if you're looking for a Bridechilla style vendor, someone that gets the ethos of what this community is about and what we're about, then do check out the website, thebridechilla.com. You'll see our directory listings, and we're attracting and encouraging people that get us and want to help Bridechillas create a day that is meaningful and memorable. Then it's a great place to start. Also, all of our vendors are LGBTQ friendly. They are, reasonably priced. They're just great. They're just great. There it is. Tomorrow, let me check my list as to what we're talking about tomorrow. I'm very, very organized. Oh, this is one of my favorite topics, and I've talked a lot about it on the podcast. The guest list. 3 people that you can ditch from your guest list right now. I'm not going to tell you who they are today. You have to watch tomorrow. But it is my pet favorite topic. And some of the most popular episodes of the Bridechilla podcast surround the politics of weddings and the guest list. So I've got a lot to say. I'll try and keep it short. Okay. Many love and kisses to you.